Welcome back everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to cook rump cap two different ways. Alright, so here we have our rump cap, also known as picanha. This piece comes off the top of a whole rump, and all we want to do to get started is trim this silver skin and excess fat off the bottom. So for now I'm just going to be using my trimming knife, and we're just going to, like I said, remove any excess fat and silver skin. Alright, now our rump cap or picanha didn't need much trimming, which is always good, and as you can see, the grain is running this way. Now I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be cooking this two different ways, so I'm going to take some slices against the grain. That's going to go onto our skewers, and then I'm going to go some with the grain, and we're going to reverse sear those pieces. So I'll flip it over. We want to get our slicing knife, and as we can see, the grain is running this way, so I want to be cutting across that. So I want to be taking a few slices off this way. I'm going to go about an inch or so thick. And then we're just going to face up this end, and then we're going to go with the grain, a couple of nice steaks like so. So we've got two that will reverse sear, two that will go onto some skewers, and then any off trim, I'm just going to knock the fat off, and that can go for some stir fry meat. Alright, now we are just going to trim this fat down just so it's around 1 centimetre thick. Don't have to go too crazy, a lot of the flavour will come from the fat. Happy with that one. Same with our pieces for the skewer. Alright, now these are ready to be seasoned, and these two will go on a skewer. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just kind of fold our pieces for the skewer around like that. Then I'll get the skewer straight through the middle of them. Just like so, and the idea here is because we've sliced these ones against the grain, we're going to be slicing the meat straight off the skewer like so. And those muscle fibres are going to be running vertically, which will give us a much more tender bite. And these ones here, we can see our muscle fibres, or grain as I called it before, is running this way. But once we slice these into strips, they're going to be facing sort of this way. And as you can see, the muscle fibres are running vertically there. So when we bite into them after we've sliced it later on, we'll bite into some vertical meat fibres, which again will give us a much more tender bite. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and season these up. I'm going to be using my beef bounce rub. But if you just want to use some salt and pepper, or salt, pepper, garlic, that'll do the trick nicely. There's honestly so much flavour in this cut, you can just get away with using some salt on it. Alright, now we'll let that rub set into the meat for about 10 to 15 minutes while we get some charcoal going. Alright, now we're going to be doing the reverse sear in our Weber kettle. So we'll take our lid and cooking grate off, and we'll take one of our charcoal baskets out and move the other one to the back. Then you want to fill that with some lump charcoal or briquettes. And we'll bury a firelighter in the middle there and light it up. Then we'll give that around 10 to 15 minutes until those briquettes have caught light properly and they're burning nice and clean. Alright, now our briquettes have caught light, they're burning cleanly. This is just going to work like a little mini minion method in that charcoal basket. Now we'll get our lid on. We want to make sure our top and bottom vents are wide open. And now we'll give our Weber 5 minutes to preheat. Alright, and now our Weber's had 5 minutes, we'll take the lid off. We'll get a nice little chunk of smoking wood on. I've gone with some bourbon barrel oak today. Then we'll get our cooking grate back on. And then our beautiful little steaks. I've got the thermometer in this one here. I love this as it's wireless and I can get an ambient temperature reading out of this end. Then we'll get our lid back on and let these start smoking away. Alright, so with our Weber, I'm going to look to hold that at around 150 Celsius or 300 Fahrenheit. And we're going to take our steaks until they reach an internal temperature of around 49 degrees Celsius or 120 Fahrenheit. I reckon they'll take around 30 to 40 minutes to hit their internal temperature. So before we set up some charcoal to get our skewered rump cap on, we're going to make some cowboy butter. Alright, so we're just starting with 200 grams of unsalted butter. I like to use unsalted so we can control our own salt levels. Now that butter's nice and soft, where you can use this recipe, melt some butter down and combine all the ingredients we're about to put in there. So to that, we're going to add 1 finely diced shallot, 3 cloves of freshly minced garlic, some parsley, thyme and chives. Now I'll put the recipe for this down in the description for you to check out. 1 tablespoon of horseradish cream, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, the juice of half a lemon, and then a good teaspoon of my steak shooter spicy. If you don't have that, I'll add some other ingredients you can use instead down in the recipe that's in the description. And then we simply just want to mix that all together. And then we'll set that aside to use a little bit later on. Alright, so our pieces of rump cap in the Weber, they've almost hit their internal temperature, so we'll get them out for a rest very shortly. But for now, we'll start setting up the rambler. So we're going to take our cooking grate off and lift our charcoal grate up. Then we'll get a couple of firelighters going. And then I'm going to get around half a chimney worth of briquettes on. Alright, now our pieces in the Weber have hit temperature. We can take our lid off and we can get these out to rest. And we'll come back to sear these once our other pieces are resting after we grill them directly. All right, now these briquettes are burning nicely. We'll dump them in. And then we just want to pile them up nice and neat. And then we can get our skewered rump cup on, and we simply just want to flip that every minute or so it cooks nice and even until we reach around 125 Fahrenheit internal or 52 degrees Celsius. All right, and after about 15 minutes, our skewered rump cup has hit its internal temperature. That is looking amazing. That can come off for a rest now. I'm just going to rest our rump cup like so over that tray. And that way it's going to maintain that beautiful crust on the outside. And because our Rambler's got some fresher briquettes, we're just going to get our cooking grate back on here and finish off the sear for those other pieces on this one. All right, now we'll give our pieces that have been smoked around a minute to 2 each side. All right, and just got that last one off. That is looking fantastic. Let's cut these up. All right, let's slice one of these reverse seared pieces up. Looks absolutely perfect. Let's slice this other one up as well. All right, here goes a reverse seared piece. As you can see, super tender bite, good smoke flavour, tender, juicy, delicious. All right, now for that nice outside charred piece from our skewer. Almost forgot about that cowboy butter we made earlier. Honestly, cowboy butter would have to be my favourite thing at the moment to go with steak. You're definitely going to try it. So there you have it. There's a couple of ways to cook rump cup or picanha. We reverse seared a piece and then we skewered and directly grilled another piece. Then we made some cowboy butter as well. You've definitely got to try that. It goes well with all proteins. Now, if you ask me which one I'd pick out of the reverse seared or the grilled piece, I'd just give the edge to that grilled piece. I absolutely love that outside crispy bit, but try it yourself and just keep in mind what we spoke about earlier in regards to the muscle fibers or the way the grain's running. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. But for now, that's the end of the video. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.